Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, my name is Joseph. Welcome as we are going to attempt once again to play Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. I say attempt. I like to think I made a pretty good attempt last week, but let me turn the volume up here. I do want to turn the volume up just a little bit more on the actual in-game audio. Setting up a couple final details here, and all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are off. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. That is the game we are playing here tonight. Poorly, because I am an Oldhead Gamer who plays games poorly. We're going to continue at the Eltis Weiss Heroes Den. I have not played this since last week. Since, like, I've not done anything off stream. It's probably going to take me a second to remember what the hell is going on. You want to load this data? Yes, I do. Let us load this data. Oh, let me text my boy real quick. I almost forgot. I should have did this before turning the microphone on and doing this this whole damn thing, but here we are, right? Once again, exciting and engaging content for all of you that are watching this. Watch this old head streamer fumble with his phone. We'd have rattled out 25 different text posts to TikTok. Yeah, I know it's TikTok. I'm not that damn old. To the Twitter. Yes, I know it's X. I'm not that old. I'm joking, mostly. Mostly. Somewhat. Alright. So, I know we had saved here, and now... Yo, can we buy stuff?
You need a rest.
I need a rest? I mean, in real life, yes. Yes, I do.
Do come and see me again, yes?
Okay. I just want to buy some stuff.
Goods, right? Leave it
Yes.
to me.
Yes. But, let us buy, let's see. We got... like 8. Ruby ring. Wait. Oh, no. Damn it. Okay. Retrieve. No, I want to... My bad. Okay. I see. So this will boost your power and attack stuff. Sure.
See you again.
Okay, see, I thought I was buying stuff.
Ah, Noah. Perfect timing. Gotta talk to you.
What is it?
As I'm sure you know, the watch's got a pretty high turnover. People come, people go, and they all got their reasons.
Heck, even Mimi took off. Went south to Eucharist on some kind of warrior journey or whatever.
Let me turn this up just a little bit more for you guys.
That's why I want you to take my place as captain for a while. Well, I'm not planning to up and vanish anytime soon. I think it'd be good practice.
Yeah, it'll be good. Wait, what? You're making Noah the acting captain? I've got seniority by 2 days. You should have asked me.
I did ask you. You said, and I quote, "That sounds like a pain in the butt."
Huh?
Yep, that sounds like me, all right. Fine then, Noah. I officially dub thee acting captain.
Well, Noah, what you say?
That sounds like a pain in the butt.
Come on, I thought you liked meddling. My requests don't qualify? Besides, experience builds character. And finally, I got a hunch you're perfect for the job.
Hey, what about me?
Not so much.
Got a hunch you're cut out to be an actress.
Yo.
Ooh, saucy.
Now for your first assignment. Let's go tell Emir what's going on.
Need something?
I'm gonna be letting Noah take over as captain for a while.
You would do that to me. Did it ever occur to you that I might have my own plans for how to allocate our resources? Why it's my job to create order out of this shoddy ragtag outfit is beyond me. I'd quit on the spot if it weren't for her ladyship.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Going forward, Noah chooses our teams. And if you catch wind of any jobs, you set him up.
Jobs? Oh, there's no shortage of those. I thought the Watch was created as a reserve force to assist the standing army in times of crisis, but it seems I was mistaken. Because the rest of the land clearly sees us as some kind of glorified errand runners. Oh, why me? Why? Why? Right then. What sort of job would please the Watch's finest?
Tiger hunting.
Tiger hunting.
Not listed.
Wolf hunting.
Anything related to hunting, not listed.
Yep.
However, the Watch is shorthanded. If you meet anyone gullible enough, capable enough, then kindly recruit them. Can I trust you with that, oh great captain?
Just Noah is fine.
Don't let me down, oh mighty captain. If you bring home recruits, I'll consider letting you thicken out your team. In the meantime, I can't spare anyone.
Okay. Well, and
Lucky for you, Leon's always in your corner.
Count me in.
I mean, okay. What's the difference? You can access battle plan and the menu to configure each party. Oh, okay. Each character with action limits to restrict what they do. on and target settings to focus on specific enemies. Okay. I mean, I guess I can understand how that might be useful. We got work to do, acting leader. Gar, not you too. Take it easy, give it a shot. Be comforted, all ensure good behavior. Thanks, better put a team together. Mio's on training, so we need 3 more. Okay, so, battle plan. Okay. Surf resources. Oh, I see. 3. Damage. Defend and taunt. Okay, well, first thing I'm gonna do, if you've ever watched one of my streams, you know that I've been involved in the professional wrestling business in, you know, different ends, and I kind of refer to everything under the sun as a gimmick, so use gimmick. Good. Defense command, defend and taunt, yeah. Okay. Cool. Always use gimmick. HP damage. All right. Yes. Hello there, my name is Aki. Would you have guessed I used to be a travel writer? I've been all over. I hope your path takes you all over the big wide world. Okay, Aki, and do you happen to know THQ, man? No? Okay. Bonus points if you get the reference. Okay. This waste. I like how it feigns it feigns that kind of 16-bit graphics look, but then you'll also get these angles and shadows and such that there is no way they could have done that on 16-bit. This place will apparently serve as the watch's base for now. I'm in charge of guarding here, so you take care of somewhere else. Okay. Where's the loot? Any loot? Give me the loot. No loot, loot, loot. Loot items. Items, loot. No? Give me the loot, give me the loot. No? Can't buy none? Can't take none? Don't want none? Mew. Okay. See. Yeah. Loot. Items. I want some. I'll go get some. I'm bad enough to take some. But if there's none there, they don't want none. Meow. Meow. Kitty. This is Lady Periel's manor. Try not to, well, under no circumstances may you soil anything, so please walk with care. I'm gonna trample all over this bitch. Welcome to Lady Periel's manor. You don't seem to be dangerous people. That's because you're not an enemy. If you were, you'd be in danger, bro. Oh. That's because there's a wall right there. No? Nothing? No. Oh, okay. Okay. I was just looking to see if there's like a jump button. Is there a sprint? Oh, okay. Oh, this is the run. Okay. Gotcha. There's not a run button, there's a walk button. Gotcha. And the hell kind of RPGs don't have random shit all over the place? This is an appraiser shop. If you have any questions about your tools, don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, can I buy some? Can I take some? Are there some? Are there some? Read this book a lot already. I'll give it to you now. Faded book, chapter 3. Okay, well, that's an item. Who are you? We're watching the house while parents are away. Oh, okay, my bad. Well, hey, well then, thanks for the book. I don't know what it does or anything. Nice weather today too. You know, no, it was pretty nice weather outside today, honestly. So wait, I can just walk. Wait a minute. See, this one I at least got to step over. This one I just walk clear through. Loot, items, stuffs, things, pups. Little water effect right there. All right. Bow wow. Wolf woof. Arf arf. Items, hidden items in boxes, and that's what these exist for, right? What's the point? You mean to tell me you don't go around in like your regular life checking out boxes and barrels for random shit? I love animals. Oh, okay. Talk to animals 10 times. Okay. Okay. Cool. What is this? Chris. Oh, no, okay. Alright, nah. Hold on. I wanted to go completely off. There we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Gate used to be open, but the lord of the area ordered it shut. I really did love coming here. There's a bridge out there that people call Twin Springs Cross. The bridge itself is a work of art, but the real beauty is in the view of the river at sunset. Yo, there was like a dude here, and he just like vanished. You see that? He just like vanished. He vanished. Where'd he go? He just vanished. He disappeared. It's dark magic, I tell you. Kitty. Okay. Up. Loot. Kitty. Okay. Meow.
Huh? You selling something?
We're looking for capable people to join the Eltisvice Watch.
Yeah, I've heard that name all right. Got my own mission, though, so...
A mission, is it? Cloaks, daggers, that sort of thing?
Generally.
Well then, how about this? I'll help you with your mission, and in turn, you can help me with mine.
You are gonna help me. Buddy, you don't even know what the mission is.
Facts.
Could be I'm out for blood. Looking to part innocent heads from quaking shoulders and all that.
Could be. I'm down.
You don't seem the type. And that being the case, I don't see the harm in helping.
Actually, most folks would say I'm exactly the type. Question is whether you're keener than some or stupider than most.
I like this guy already.
Last chance. Next time I ask you to help, you're gonna be bound to it.
If you say it's a vital mission, I trust you.
You're even nuttier than I thought, and I love it. Know what? I'll join you. My mission can wait. Something tells me I'm in for a wild ride if I stick with you.
You go, join the party. Okay. All right.
Lead the way, then.
All right. Target enemy with high attack. He seems like a dude who's like, he wants a challenge or something. Oh, I didn't mean to clear it off entirely. Nah, my boy, you up front. Oh. Just... Yeah, nah, bro, you up front. Damn it. Again, hold on. Use gimmick. Always use gimmick. Always use gimmick. And then taunt. Oh, party strategy. Okay. Fight. Okay. I got it. That's for an entire. Okay. Hold on. It's like a. Oh, you can't read those? Okay. Never mind then. Okay, well, there's something on that, and nothing on this side. Time for shopping. Time for shopping. Wonder what we'll have for dinner. Wife always takes so long to shop. Hey, are you done yet? Wonder what will suit our menu today. What to do. Shush! Shush! Go away, I'm busy right now. Shush. Like, I know that's Chad Gable's thing, but that was my thing like fucking 15 years ago. So, I'm not saying he took it from me, because I don't, to the best of my knowledge, I've never actually met Chad Gable that I can recall. Maybe we crossed paths somewhere in passing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not claiming to have anything to do with that gimmick, other than I wasn't using it in a wrestling setting. I was telling my nieces and nephews to shush. Whoa there! You're not a Spinadeer, are you come back after you know? Okay, whatever the fuck that is. All right. Rain, little girl object. Okay. Sure. Loot, items, loot. No, damn it. What is the purpose of having all these boxes out here if nothing contains anything I could just take? That's how RPGs are supposed to work. Damn it. Damn it. I got messages. Oh, it's just from the NBA. Okay. Bro. Lakers got eliminated this week. The NBA season's over as far as I'm concerned. Head west and you'll find goods useful. Oh, okay. Head west. Alright. You a traveler, are you? There must be something you need. Stop and shop at my store. Yes. Been looking all over town for this shit. Okay, so... Rune Shard of Return. Okay. Anything else you need? That's all you got, bro. Alright, well, that's good. That's... I got what I needed, so that was, Welcome to the armory. Won't be beat on stock and the market for something shiny, are we? Shiny. What brings me here? I want to cut up some shit. Bronze helmet. One helm, bronze helm. Oh, okay. Yes, actually I do. Wooden head guard, not yet. Sell yet. Alright, I think we're good here. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, it lowers her magic by 1, but she's not really like a hardcore magic user, so... Yeah. I mean, this would, but again, I'm not really a... My guy's not really a hardcore magic user, so... All right. Welcome, welcome. If you're after anything rune related, come this way. This part I'm not really sure about, so... mean, she has the same physical attack. Same strength, anyway. Oh, okay. She's the only one that can use it, apparently. Alright, well then we'll keep it with her. No. We'll keep that on hand, I think. About finding a rune that suits you. Today feels like a great day for shopping. Where shall we go? Wolf? Up ahead is the finest blacksmith in all of Eltis Slice, and I'm his apprentice. I'm still new here, so my job is to get customers. Alrighty. Alright. Alright, improved weapons. We can kick more ass. Cool. Don't you have a... I don't know what that means.
Gar, you old dog. It's been too long.
What in blazes are you doing back here, Sabine? Last I heard, you were off quelling some kind of rebellion in Kenon.
Oh, it's quelled. Thought I'd come rest my bones here for a while in the meantime.
The Watch, your idea of resting your bones?
I'm just gonna sit back here a little bit. I know it kind of fucks up on the camera, but it is what it is. I'd rather fuck up on the camera a little bit than fuck up my back. Or neck, or... Let's see. So if I turn this bullshit this way a little bit, well, it kind of fucks up the... Now, damn it, really?
Maybe. Or maybe I just smell opportunity. So, who's this? One of your men? You got a name?
Noah.
See here, Noah. When you've been a merc as long as me, all it takes is one look at a man's face to know if he's long for this world.
So, is that a threat or?
Ain't looking good, kid.
Damn.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Sabine.
Forget it. Probably just the
Ain't looking
anal
good,
talking.
kid.
Good men know life is precious, including their own. You be a good man, Noah.
And who was that delightful lady?
Sabine's an old friend. Nah, she'd laugh me out of the building for that. Let's call her an old something. As mercs go, she's long in the tooth. Probably too damn stubborn to die, honestly.
Yep, I can definitely see that.
Aha! Good to see you.
Gamer Dude 3106.
Do come again whenever you need.
Fair enough.
Got your assignment already? I mean, I did I did bring in one new guy, so shut the trap. Faded Book, Chapter 19. Okay, well, glad we was able to get something out of all this. Would have at least appreciated like a Deltarune-esque joke where, it's a bed. Shall you lie down? No, you shan't. It's not your bed. Okay. This is all good and all, but, where the hell do I go? Excuse me. Okay. Do have along with got a couple bottles of water and a couple of Pepsi Zeros. All right, where do I go? Like, nothing? No, not that. This. Okay. Let's go.
Any last words?
Shell egg. All right, I'm gonna put this on auto. Get wrecked. Oh, that was a.
We cleaned right up.
That was nothing. Okay. Town here, or a village here. Verdun Village. So at home, okay. I think we're good on this. Ha ha ha! I did well to do business here. Oh, a traveler? Stop by and shop at my store. Man, I'm jealous of that guy. If I had acted sooner, I'd be rolling in money too. Welcome. What brings you here? Well, let's see what you got. I probably can't afford anything, and you probably don't have anything that's better than what I'm packing anyway. Yeah. Pork. Duchess. Where are you from, traveler? I've come to trade from the eastern desert. The Shiar craft of the Shark Beastian are perfectly comfy. Okay. Whatever the fuck that means. This is Out Verdant. We planted flowers to make this place pretty. After all, there's no place like home, and it should be beautiful. Fair enough. You're right, old man. That's the old man. I thought it was an old lady. I guess I could see it. I don't know. Hey, want to go?
Greetings. I've got a number of pelts for sale today. Can I interest you?
Hey, you want to go fuck up shit?
You know, I don't think we've met before. The name's Kuroto.
Kuroto.
I'm a hunter by trade.
Kuroto.
This here crossbow's been my partner for longer than I care to remember. Together, we can snipe with more accuracy than any elf.
I don't know how accurate elves are at sniping, but I'll take your word for it. I guess they're accurate. I guess that's supposed to mean something to me.
That's quite a claim.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, I smell it now.
I smell it
You're
now.
trying to achieve something great,
Hey,
aren't you?
You sound like an engineer on board the USS Enterprise. I don't have any more power, Captain.
I've been at this for a long time, and it's given me a keen sense of smell. There's not much that gets past me.
Not much to get past me. You wanna go fuck
The
up shit?
truth is, I'm seeking new companions to fight in my side.
Of course you are.
course
And
you
here's the
are.
part where you tried to win me over, right?
Hey.
Another tried before, years ago. But if you're thinking to impress me with a show of prowess, think again.
Nah, dude, you're like way bigger than me. I obviously don't have that.
There's not a man or woman alive who can match me with a crossbow.
Excuse me.
Let's say I wanted to impress you anyway.
If you're that determined, you must have a good reason. How's this? Hunt me 3 wild boars. You'll find some in Redthroat Ridge to the east.
Okay. Looks like we're off to get some boars then. All right. Where the boars? Where the boars? You got boars? Boars? Is there boars? Don't even fucking challenge. Fuck out of here. Blocka, blocka, blocka. Ah, you bitch made. Blocka, blocka, blocka.
Yeah, got him!
We cleaned right up.
Okay, cool. But they're not boars, so what is it? Warren Village. Check out Bazaar. It puts the capitals to shame. As long as there's no bandits. Honestly, that Yume, where could she have got to? Yume Kojo? Toki Toki Panic? Not so fast! Can't calmly let my children play unsupervised because I'm worried about the bandits. I hope they won't pick up any bad influences. Lady, I grew up at a time where my parents had to be... I grew up at a time where my parents had to be reminded I exist. Depending on your market, in our case it was 11 p.m., but I have seen commercials for 10 p.m. Right before, I guess it depends on what time your station's late news. Like most of our stations, it's at 11 p.m., but there's a few that do it at 10. Right before the beginning of the news, it says it's 10 p.m. You know where your children are? They had to remind our parents we exist. Okay? So, unsupervised shit. I don't know why that memory came to mind when I heard that, but my wife always friends. The bandits are scary, but we'll be fine if we keep watch. I'm always ready to escape. Yo, if there's bandits, I'll fuck them up, because it's it's what I do. Yo, you kids play. Any bandits come up, they'll get their asses kicked. I mean, I fuck up shit for fun, bruh. You want to give me a reason? A valid reason? I am down. There's nothing, huh? Suddenly somebody shows up. Get the fuck out of my house. And to be fair, I mean, show yourselves, bandits. You want a reason to hide in shame? I'm happy to give you one. All right, Jessica, damn. Jessica von Chezev. I mean, I don't know if you can box, but like, if you can, we're looking for people to fuck up shit. So, like, who's this? Oh, chickens. Oh, okay. Kitty. Oh, okay. No? Okay. Bazaar here in Wern. It was Count Grum's daughter's idea. Brought the village back to life. Cool. Oh, okay, yeah. We already talked to you. God damn it, we already talked to you. I'm standing right next to this chick. What makes you think I want to talk to you again? Okay? Fuck your bazaar and your village. Like, the bazaar is outstanding as always. It's incredibly fun to shop here. Take your word for it. Ho, ho, ho! Enjoying the bazaar is the town's greatest attraction, so enjoy for all it's worth. Actually, I'm bored as fuck, bro. And it's like there's no loot. Perfect day for shopping. Does anybody actually like run these shops or what? Like, I see shit out here. None of it I'm really particularly interested in, but like, isn't this great? Feel the excitement. The place is starting to buzz. Come on, join in the fun. Woohoo! Can I get kicked? You kicked? No? Fuck. Score any good buys? No. Oh, sorry for the interruption. I love shopping and watching other shoppers too. No, I ain't bought shit. I'm not seeing a point to this. I mean, I guess maybe for storyline or lore purposes, I guess. But in terms of actual practicality, what the fuck are we doing here? Nirvana. I heard Bennett showed up in this village, but I can't see any odd sorts. Okay. I mean, maybe it's just, a setup for a bandit. Now then. You a traveler by any chance? You don't look like a bandit. When you are tired of walking around a bazaar, come to my inn. I've been tired of that shit, so. 400. I mean, I don't know about. No. Right here. I don't know about all that, but, like. What you got? What can you get me? What do you got? I mean, fire is. Oh, okay. I don't have enough money for this shit, but I see. What'll it be? Sure. All right. Gives her a magic bonus, and I guess it doesn't decrease defense. I mean, oh, why not, right? Live your best life. Oh, true. Wolf. Oh, I don't think you're up to my level yet. Well, that depends. What we talking about here? I mean, I can watch this grass too. I can stand here and watch this grass all fucking day. I can stand here, watch this grass, drink a Pepsi. I think I'm pretty good at this shit, actually. I think I've got it mastered. I'm not saying you don't, right? I'm just saying, you know. Hey, you there, traveler. How'd you like these plants? Isn't that flower bed there glorious? I put my heart and soul into growing and tending them. Good for you. Meow. Kitty. Now then. The runes have guided you here. Come now, bring judgment with your rune to the scoundrels. Where are these scoundrels? I have not... You a traitor too, then? Nah, you don't look very traitory. I'm only here for my Chenrock tea. Myth says it came from the tears of a dragon who fell in love with a human. Don't know if it's true, but it sure is romantic. That's a bestiality shit. What are you talking about? Like... Black pepper. Relatively large stock, but price fluctuate. Hot spring black egg. Tanned leather. The fuck? Well, he's just like... shit that you can buy that... My daughter bought some odd book at the bazaar, and the content is rather unsettling. This book's kind of creepy. What, you want to read this book? Here, take it. The story's just too creepy. Read a book, chapter 4. Okay. Alright. Cool. We're... You know what? I wonder if, what am I selling? I didn't know I had all this shit. Bro, I don't. Okay. I'm looking at the number. What? Didn't I have, like... Lumber. Lumber necessary for the development of a town. No, I don't want to discard it. I just... What's the point? You don't require lumber here, huh? Okay. Alright. Well, then fuck you then. Did you guys say something about bandits? Because, like, I ain't seen no bandits. I want to see, like, normal, everyday, boring-ass people. They go in here? Welcome to Warren Village, travelers. Take your time and enjoy your stay. Thanks. Nice chairs, but apparently I can't sit in any of them. Alright. There's literally no reason for me to stay here. Alright, cool. No, can't use the letter? Alright. Okay. I was hoping, like, bandits would show up. I'd fuck up their shit. And then, like, everybody in this town would love me because I fucked up the bandits. But with no bandits actually being present, then the fuck's the point? Trying to find some wild boars up in this biatch. B-I-H? Alright, we in the forest, so... Lizards. Blocka, blocka, blocka.
Like it?
Blocka, blocka, blocka.
Last one. Not even worth sullying my blade.
I just keep getting better.
Nice. Nice. Do want to send a shout out. I'm not going to mention their name because they followed me while I was off stream. But did notice a couple of new followers. So shout out to them. You know, I don't want to mention them. I don't want to mention them by name off stream. That could be why they follow me while I'm not, you know, I understand that. But if you see this and you know who you are, then appreciate the follow.
Stop resisting, bandit! For the last time, I'm not a bandit! I'm a desperado!
Because that's different.
It's the same thing.
Right?
Damn it! I didn't attack your stupid village! It's true. I came from a place where you rode your bronc like the wind, and sometimes you did bad stuff. But I'm done with that life!
What's
Bro,
going on here?
You can't stay here. Maybe join us and we'll go fuck up shit.
Nothing that concerns you, bub. So unless
Oh,
you want to get
fuck
dragged
you
into
calling
this,
bub,
I
bro.
suggest you keep walking.
Who the fuck you calling bub? Motherfucker. You ain't Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Why is this guy under suspicion?
Are you kidding me? Look at how he's dressed. He couldn't be any more suspicious.
Dude, look at how you're dressed. You look like a little punk-ass bitch.
Oh, yeah. Great solution.
I'm not saying you are.
Your dumb face.
Your dumb face.
I wear these duds because they were a gift from my desperado brothers. I'd rather die than change out of them.
I mean... Yeah, whatever works for you, bro.
It does seem like you're accusing him based on how he looks.
I'm not taking any chances. Bandits have been raiding our villages near the Imperial border. Didn't you hear?
Sure. Well, when you're when people like you are the fucking defense, no wonder. I'd come over and smack the lot of you, but you know.
I can't believe you would accost somebody like this based on how they're dressed. Let me take it from here.
And who are you supposed to be?
Somebody who will smack your bitch ass.
I'm Noah from the Eltis Vice Watch.
Oh, you're one of her ladyships.
Yes, that's right.
Fine. If you think you know so much better, you handle him. We don't need the trouble anyway.
Okay then, I shall. You may now fuck off.
What do you think you're doing?
It's okay. You can trust me. You said you didn't attack the village, right?
Finally, someone with ears!
I don't know what's wrong with you that you defend this guy. If anything bad happens, it's on you.
Shut your ass up.
Yep, got it. On me.
Don't make me regret this.
Don't make me forget this. Fuck off.
Thanks for the save, man. You're one upstanding guy.
Gotcha, bro.
This has got to be fate or something. What do you say you let me join up with you? I came here to do big things. And I mean big.
Well, as fate would have it, we like to do big things, and I mean big. Fuck it, let's go.
Big in what way?
Big in a big way! What kind of question is that? The name's Yusuke. You're looking at one of the world's future titans. We're gonna make waves together, boss. I just know it.
Welcome to the ranks.
See, this guy knows what he's talking about.
There we go. Big dreamer. Big dreamer. Yusuke. Okay, well. Hold on. Use gimmick. Always use gimmick. Scrappy cake. So Blast King. Yeah, I'm gonna put your ass up front because we'll see if yeah, we'll work on getting you some shit. All right, but for now. Shit, while we're here, this meat, it needs to be aged a bit more. I'm not leaving anything to chance. Happy aging. You hear? Rumor has it a joint effort between the League and the Empire found something big up near the Northern Forest. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know shit. Looks like the Syndicate will be busy for a while, as will I. You might want to get to that then. I don't know nothing about it. Don't know shit. Don't want to know shit. Giddy. Planning how to make a killing at this place. I'm sure I sell that there. Now I'm getting worried. Maybe I should sell something else. I'm on a mission for the Watch to escort this guy. We can't decide on the goods or something, and we won't budge an inch from here. A bit of a bind. Pipe down and go away. I'm busy right now. All right, fine. I don't know if he don't know if he sounds like that or not. It just okay, well. Let's do this.
You want a piece of me? Step on up!
Rabbit Knights? Bruh. Blocker, blocker, blocker.
Come on.
That's what you get.
Get a fishing rod, okay. I got it. Fuck off now. Air inside. Seeing as the room barrels were recently found, maybe this place will prosper soon. Yeah, it probably won't. Trash Panda. Chick, chick, chick. Have tents here. Maybe we can make it a tourist spot? Really cleaned the place up. I used to dislike the Empire, but now I think better of them. I'm sure they'll give us reason not to. I came here because of the rumors of the rune barrows. Right then, I'd better research what I could sell. Okay. An Air-Inside specialty endorsed by Lady Periel herself. Herb chicken fried to perfection with a secret technique. How about some KF Crispies? I see what you're doing. KF Crispies. I see what you're doing. You're trying to start Hardee's. Or Or was that Arby's? I don't know. KF Crispies. Yeah, that'll never take off. Interested in this sword? Apparently they call this a katana in the East Reach. I bought it from a merchant who said he came from out that way. It doesn't suit me though, does it? It's beautiful though, and sharp. The engravings on this blade are really something. Might make a nice collector's piece for one so inclined. Okay. We're playing our usual spot again at last. Yay! Alright. Alright, check out the future WNBA player over here. Got that dribble on. The Beastian I saw the other day was so cool. I want to get that strong too. Alright, get the dribble on. David Beckham and Candace Parker over here. Who's the new Caitlin Clark? That's her name. I don't really know a lot of WNBA players, to be, if I'm being brutally honest. Shush, go away. I'm busy right now. Bruh. The view here is always the same, but I don't mind that at all. Ooh, me. Tuxedo. I'd love some good beans. Alright, Tuxedo. Oh, I didn't mean to leave town entirely. Shit. Ho there, expedition team members. I'm glad you come. Feel free to make yourselves at home here, and I'd love to hear your tales of the burrows if you don't mind. If you have any issues about the manor, don't hesitate to ask me. This is like our original base or some, our OG base. Kitty. Why are you all the way to fuck up there, kitty? Ooh, hey, damn it. Ah, you were on the expedition team, right? Feel free to shop here again. I just might. What do you got? Wooden head guard. Can't put nothing on this fucking guy, huh? 48.39. 48.39. Same shit. Okay. I'm hiding here because everyone's giving me weird stares. So if I sit back, my face looks like hella distorted. But if I go like this, then my face is like, you know, more distorted than normal. But if I go like that, then all of a sudden this becomes visible. Becomes visible. Really most comfortable now that everything's back to normal. Okay, guess there's really nothing else here, huh? Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Oh there, friend. You like to fish?
Sure.
I used to love to fish back in my home village, but I don't even own a pole anymore.
Shame. Even the greatest fisherman won't be catching much with just his hands. Here, take this one, friend. I can tell you're a good man, 'cause no bad man's a fan of the fish.
Huh. Okay then. Obtain bamboo rod. All right. Now you can go fishing at fishing spots. Cast your line and pull it up at the right time to catch a fish. As you fish, you may also get cooking ingredients. There are fishing spots all over, each with its own fish population. Explore thoroughly to find them all and land rare catches. Cool. Alright. Alright, this place is all mine now. I'll make it my secret base. Alright. I guess that's it. All right. Well, here we go. I was going to say, there's a fishing spot right over here. Fishing started. All right.
Yeah. Crap.
No catch.
Yep. Gotcha. Nothing to it.
Caught shovel lobster. Obtain fish.
Hup. Crap.
And go for one more.
Come on. Come on. Yes.
Fountain minnow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will return to that at a later time. Let's go fuck up some jade. Blocka, blocka, blocka. Blocka, blocka, blocka.
Take this.
Get wrecked.
That's what you get.
All right.
Any last words?
Blocka. Bit overkill, but hey.
We cleaned right up.
A tad overkill, but hey, what the hell, right?
Any last words?
Blocka.
Yeah, got him! What a joke!
All right, Hugo. Welcome to the sevens. Welcome to the sevens. Oh, okay. Well, shoot. You know, it's 8 p.m. I got a little bit of a late start, but I'll play this for a little bit more. What the hell? What else am I gonna do? Sleep? Who does that?
You want a piece of me? Step on up!
Block.
Yeah, got him! What a joke!
Giddy. I'm done to go away. I'm busy right now. Lie. It like reverses the. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Was it Wern Village, or which was the... I forget. No. Supposed to go to the east and fight some boars. Lizard and Cark. Block him, block him, block him.
That's what you get.
Okay.
Any last words?
Like it?
Block him, block him, block him.
Better grit those teeth! The hell?
We're done here. That doesn't even count as exercise.
I feel stronger.
Alright. Noah just leveled up to 8. Alright. Got the early Kobe going on. Alright. Number 8. Okay, here we go. Yo, alright. Seeing your toes, got it? What this? Obtain 5 stone. Okay. Force.
Any last words?
Oh, you bastard bitch.
Like it?
Suck on this!
Last one.
We cleaned right up.
All right. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a trustable bridge. What could possibly go wrong? An ore, thick robe. Can anybody actually use that thick robe? How about you, Mama? Yep, alright. Alright, bro. Yours.
Let's do this.
Bring it on!
Hero combo with... Oh, okay. Yatta. Get wrecked. Damn, alright, bro.
What a joke.
It's a little bit of a challenge, but we're good.
I'm a freaking legend.
Alright, Yusuke, welcome to the sevens. Oh, my bad.
Let's get it done.
I'm gonna put this on auto this time.
You're getting it now.
Take this!
We'll cancel auto because
Bring it on!
oh, okay. Never actually got to heal him.
Doesn't even count as exercise. Experience is strength.
Alright, so Leon and Yusuke need to heal up real quick. Alright. Bridge looks, well, not really much better than the other one, but nothing there but to take more steps for the next random encounter. Gotcha.
Any last words?
Here we go. We got one of the wild boars. All right.
Bring it on!
What the hell? Come on.
Okay, there's one.
Damn it.
Let's go auto from here.
Damn it. Come on.
Like it?
What?
Yeah, got him.
Yeah, I got him.
That's what you get.
It is what you get, actually. All right, well, that's one of the wild boars. over here. 2 iron ore, alright. And tricorn hat. Yeah, alright.
You want a piece of me? Step on up!
Here's the other 2, alright.
Like it?
That was weak.
Bring it on!
Huh.
Come on! Ta! So long!
Not even worth sullying my blade. I like it.
Alright, Hugo. Welcome to the 8th. What is up here, though? Alright, got some stone. Hold on. I mean, we'll fight, but let's see what's down.
Any last words?
Alright. We'll just go to auto.
What?
Our guys can take,
Take this!
our guys can take whatever these guys can dish out. Got him!
Not even worth sullying my blade.
Is there anything down here? Yes, there is. See? Glad I looked. There's loot. Healing herbs, which is very valuable loot, actually.
Let's do this.
No, let's not do auto.
Last one!
That doesn't even count as exercise.
Two scared three. Nice.
I'm a freaking legend.
A freaking legend. Wait, no, I was going this way. Around here. Around to stone. All right. Cross here. All right, 600 coin.
You want a piece of me? Step on up! Bring it on!
Doesn't even count as exercise.
I feel stronger.
I'm a 9 now. A 9. Why you do this? Alright. Go left. Fire stone. Some loot. Rune of magic.
do this!
Come on! Take this!
Damn it!
Block, block, block.
That's what you get!
All right. All right. Well, we just hit a save point, so
Challenge accepted.
Oh, damn it!
hit a save point. It means either a new area is coming up, or we about to get into some shit. Easy for me to say.
Damn it!
Block, block, block.
Take this!
We're done here.
I was gonna say, why is all the focus on that one enemy?
Experience is strength.
I mean, I know we just saved, but we also just leveled up, so. Alright, we about to, okay. Okay, maybe you're supposed to come back here later or something. I don't know. Well, we got the wild boars.
Let's do this!
What?
You're getting it now.
What?
doesn't even count as exercise.
Let's get it done! Lens!
Suck on this! Like it? The hell?
We cleaned right up!
I like it. Challenge accepted. What? Take this! That's what you get.
That's what you get.
Any last words?
Get murked.
We cleaned right up!
I'm a freaking legend.
Stone.
Let's get it done!
What? Like it?
We're done here.
We cleaned right up!
I just gotta remember which town it was. I know it's to the west of here. I remember that part. I remember that much of it.
Any last words?
Better grit those? Yeah!
That's what you get.
I don't think this was right. I don't think I had to go back through the gate, though.
Let's get it done.
Come on. Like it?
Last one!
We cleaned right up.
I don't remember if it was a town over here or... Yeah, no, we didn't go all the way over here. Huh? Something happened? Apparently the road's blocked by a landslide. We didn't go through there, but I like the maybe it was this town. I thought it was further away, but maybe not. No, it wasn't in there. I don't think it was this town. I don't remember. The dude with the crossbow. Not yet. Not yet. Nothing, huh? Well, damn. where I got the other part of that book. Power. Versus magic, but he doesn't have any like magic. Okay, well. Okay. I don't think it was this town. I think it was another town. I think it was another town. This one, maybe?
Any last words?
And there! Like it? Yeah, got him! What a joke!
I wonder if I turn this one off. Turn this one off entirely. Okay. If I turn that one on and I turn this one off entirely. Then, okay. Then it just reveals more background. I just... There he is.
You finished your hunt already? Oh, and you've done exactly as I asked. Wild boars are ferocious creatures. It takes a tough hunter to bring down even one.
Experimenting on lighting. Well, I should be finishing up this game.
So does that mean...
Let's you and me have a little talk first. I adore the children of this town. I enjoy watching them grow up, in an almost fatherly sort of way, I suppose. Day by day, inch by inch, they live, learn and grow. Just like how a seed sprouts, before one day it finally flowers. But I can smell it. Change, and not for the better. The wind carries the scent here from afar. I'd hoped that I was reading it wrong, but since we first spoke, I feel it with a certainty. Whatever threat is out there is going to come here. It will steal these children's chance to blossom. So I've decided to join you, and that is my reason why.
Good reason, good of a reason as any, bruh. Peace-loving hunter, Kuroto. Kuroto.
We're happy to have you.
You don't look like a Kuroto, but okay. I don't know what a Kuroto looks like, but... Always use gimmick. I mean, because his defense still isn't really all that strong. But if he can hit from there, then he won't take as much damage while at the same time. His defense is way up. Like, her attack is stronger, but she doesn't have the same defense. So yeah, we'll go with that. But Kitty. $600. Yeah, what the hell not? Save. Not in that slot. I want to save this slot. There we go. All right. Well, coming up on 9 p.m. I've been going just over 2.5 hours. I think we're going to call this stream for the night. On Twitch, I'm going to seek out a person to raid. Meanwhile, on Kick, or if you're watching this on VOD later, then it's just going to be the end for you. But if you're watching on Twitch, big screen net. Let's see who all is who is on who. Got a few different pretty good options here. I think, yeah, I know who we're gonna raid. All right. So we're gonna raid Jocelyn. She cool. Like, what the hell just happened? You want to tell me what the hell just happened on here? Are we live? We are live. I think. Like, I know we're going to be ending stream here right now, but like, we will be ending stream here right now. That doesn't mean didn't necessarily mean right this second just kill off everything, because I want to go to here. I like this game. It's I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing it on stream though, because it's kind of, it seems like it'd be kind of boring to watch. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am. But it does seem like it's kind of boring to watch. There's cool moments, of course. Alright, so like I said, here on Twitch, we are going to be rating Jocelyn. She's playing Cyberpunk 2077. She's cool. She's goofy as hell, but cool. Here on stream, we're going to be, we're going to be ending stream. We are unable to raid Jocelyn. Oh, okay. We're gonna pull this bullshit. All right. Maybe we won't be raiding Jocelyn. All right. Well, shoot. I have some other cool people on here. I have a lot of cool people on here. Can't raid Jocelyn. We'll just raid somebody else. We will raid. We will raid Bats. Bats is also cool as hell. She's also goofy as hell, but like in a really like great way. She's freaking awesome. So, yeah, we will start the raid on there. Of course, like I said, if you're watching on Kick or you're watching on VOD, this stream is just going to come to an end. I do want to say real quick, first off, once again, thank you for those who have followed Looking to be back here next Wednesday, 6-ish p.m. Pacific. Maybe I play the same game. Maybe I play something else. We'll see, because it is pretty. It seems like it's pretty slow. Like, there's exciting moments, of course, in all RPGs, but it does seem like there's moments where, frankly, it could be really boring to watch, and I don't want to do that. Like, I enjoy this game. I'm having fun, but I don't know if anybody would have a lot of fun watching a lot of these moments. So I want to come up with something perhaps a bit more engaging. So we'll see. We'll see what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing next week. I know it's going to be Wednesday, 6-ish p.m. Pacific. I say 6-ish because it could be 6:05, could be 6:15. Depends. Just it depends. It depends. Okay. There's factors. But wherever, whenever, and however you are watching this, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for stopping by my little stream, or my little VOD if you're watching on VOD. Thank you for doing so. I appreciate it so much. My name is Joseph, and we are out this